but we burned the cash fastly and the project bankrupt in 4 months or something like that. Actually, with my partner, we lived in the car even 4 months. Nobody, not even the most expensive consultant, from Berkeley, I don't know, or Harvard or Stanford, whatever, or any investment banker. None of them can say if that will work or not. Then you switch your mindset basically to, maybe it's not about money, it's not should be about money.
Hello everyone, this is Koma PR Podcasts, and today we are talking to our special guest Ernestas Žvaigždinas. We will talk about a road to successful startup entrepreneurship. Ernestai, thank you so much for coming. You are a serial entrepreneur and investor. And for our listeners and for our subscribers, it's very interesting to hear about your first startup, about your first project. Could you please tell us more about it?
This one is funny. I was in university, I guess. I found out some couple angel investors, got acquainted with them, befriend them, and used to always ask them for money. And my business idea was let's make a bar or restaurant basically. So they fed up with me very very early with all this crap, and basically one investor said, Ernest, just drop with all of those ideas. I have an idea, gave me an idea and gave me money to do it, So me and my good friend started to do this, and it took about, I don't know, maybe 4 months. We burned a lot of money very fast. It was actually at that time in the Lithuania landscape, it was pretty big investment for an internet project. One of the earliest in Lithuania, I would call it, and maybe top 10 earliest investments in web. But we burned the cash fastly and the project bankrupt in 4 months or something like that.
What kind of project it was?
It was some kind of, I remember, it's difficult to say, but it was an auction, but a specific auction. You need to phone or message and the price gets higher by 1 cent. So the project was called 1 cent. Yeah, it was working somewhere in other countries, but not here, not so much here.
And what was the amount of investment?
Probably around 100,000 euros, but it was 2007, something like that. So it's pretty much at that stage in the history of Lithuania, I think it was pretty big amount.
And what happened after you launched the project?
So yeah, after we bankrupted, when you're young, and you think that you will conquer the world very fast and very high, you realize that it's not that easy, After that, it was a very rough ride. Yeah, we actually, with my partner, we lived in the car even 4 months. We used to don't quote and don't do this, but we used to take out the car plates just not to buy for the car tickets, parking tickets. So when you take off the plate, you cannot be fined. So a lot of rides, ups and downs after that. But basically, with feeling to do startups, I just continue to do so. Yeah. Until now, I guess I did about more than 30.
Oh.
I'm doing at this moment 34th startup. Yeah. In this after started in 2007 and now it's 2023. So.
And how did you manage to lead so many of them?
I don't know. I mean, I'm counting basically a couple per year on average, I guess. So, but I pretty much learned to fail fast. So you do it fast. You try to launch it as fast as possible. as quick as possible with the least amount of investment, and then you check the market, if it fits the market. Until this day, nobody can tell if it will work or not. Nobody, not even the most expensive consultant, from Berkeley, I don't know, or Harvard or Stanford, whatever, or any investment banker, none of them can say if that will work or not. So basically you need to go and do it, and just check it. Yeah, there are some procedures that you can do before the launch. Yeah, you can double check, maybe make a bit of taste if the market needs that product or service. So that's what's it runs in my blood, just to check the market. It's like an adrenaline rush, a game for me, basically. So until this day, I'm doing the same.
And why not classical business? Why startup entrepreneurship?
I guess it's a bit of we need to speak about of history, I guess, of Lithuania, because the after our independence, and there was a gap. We call it, I call it at least, wild west, in Lithuania. So a lot of people got all the seats, basically, took all the seats that was possible at that period, and later on for us young people, not so much actually to do what to do, in classical businesses. So there was like basically a very strong monopolies in every classical industry, basically. So for us youngsters, IT was the new wave, what we can do, a new wave for creating businesses. So, and the old guys are too clumsy and too not that tech savvy like us. I'm with a computer from very early age, like from 6 years or something like that, and that's very early in Lithuania context.
Interesting. And actually, what are important criteria for you as for investor? What are important criteria of a successful startup as for you?
I guess I'm at least last 5-7 years, I'm in both seats, actually. I'm in seats that are raising money, and I'm in the seat that I'm investing money. So I need to see the right amount of person behind that, I guess. I have to have chemistry with that person. For me, yeah, I guess people are the most important thing of it. But on the other hand, also, the idea, how does it sound to me? So, and then I've listened to many ideas, and I've seen through this in the history, from my history, that there are some crazy ideas that I thought that are stupid and they took off, and there are crazy ideas that I thought that it will be a miracle, basically a miracle pill, basically, but it never took off, and it's not even mine, I'm talking in general in the market. Again, to the point earlier said, nobody knows if it will work or not. So nowadays, I guess, so for me it must be some good times, and that's relationships, basically. And some kind of, still you need to believe in the idea. Recently I'm more into life-saving technology, green energy, something that is positive, very positive. A bit into fighting big pharma and fighting big drug prices. Recently into mine detection, for example, just to help the problem with mines all over the world, not even Ukraine alone. So there's a lot of in other regions also. So, and it's very old mine detection technology used. Recently, I'm more into this positive ideas and positive people, I guess.
You look into values.
Yeah. Not. I'm getting older, I guess, but not at all, obviously. But I'm more into, the money is not the first thing now, and I guess it's a kind of it's a paradox, but basically to find a unicorn, to have a unicorn is all the startup entrepreneurs, wants to do that, to reach that goal. But it's basically impossible, It's just couple people throughout the whole Lithuania was able to do that. And and to some degree, if you listen all the history and the story behind that, it's usually a lot of luck also. So when you realize that you will not reach that unicorn status, possibly, and the biggest chance that you will not. So then you like switch your mindset basically to maybe it's not about money. It's not should be about money. It's something, some value, some good, some positivity.
So what happens when a startup doesn't reach its desired goal, when an entrepreneur understands that they will not become a unicorn? What happens to this project? Do they become a classical business? What happened to your projects, for example?
No, usually we, and I guess a lot of us that are working in this field are dropping it as fast as possible. For some, it's very difficult to do. For me, it's very easy. If I see that the project is, for example, has no possibility of margins, even if it could make money, for example, but let's say it could earn or make money just for the salaries, let's say. I'm already like so bored at it. So and I never was a middle guy, or be satisfied for something very in the middle. I'm all in, or totally a loser, or totally a winner. So I'm never in the middle. I just always kill if it's not successful or it's very mediocre or something like that. I always kill the project. I want to pursue something that will something that could potentially at least could have good salaries, some margins, etc., etc. So this is the goal, especially in tech industry. If we're talking about classical industry, if you open a restaurant, it's good that you could, throughout all the year, make for salaries, etc., some small profit, and that's the best restaurant you can find, actually, or the most successful restaurant would be in this case. But in tech industry, it's not like that. The salaries are getting higher and higher. If you want to keep your very talented people, and in tech industry, it's the most talented people basically working, you need to keep them, and that's very difficult if your business is not very, forward, is not it has no margins, or there's no growth to it, so your business must be on a very skyrocketing projection, if you want to keep all the team for a very long period of time.
See, that's complicated.
Ernestas,
let's talk more about the projects you're interested in. And I found one interview when you're talking back in 2016 about IT technologies in medicine, about AI.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think are the most important niches now, or spheres in life where AI, such a buzzword to a lot of people, where can it be implemented, and would you personally invest in?
Actually, I prefer now to say machine learning, more, because I'm so fed up with the AI meaning, and there's not yet, how to say, developed, so there's no AI still yet, but there are many areas where, and for sure in last couple of years, I would never imagine in that year when I had that interview, and I spoke about that period. I was working on a project. We were building basically a mobile phone app in iOS and an Android app, where the app is listening to your voice and could predict pretty accurately if you have throat cancer or not. So we were working with known big university in Lithuania. So they gathered a lot of data of sick and healthy people, for sure. I mean, obviously the topic is throat diseases, and they gathered a lot of data because one doctor, after a lot of experience, began to notice in the crowds, just by his hearing, he could hear a man with a disease, with a cancer disease, basically. And me and you could not hear it. It's not coughing, it's not like crunchy or something voice. It's a very specific voice. So he began to hear it, and pretty accurately. So he thought that sound, the voice, the element of voices, there are some artifacts, of this disease. So he began to create this database of those ill people, and basically on this database we worked with machine learning, of course, on top of that, and we could accurately predict if that voice, just your sentence basically, could and are you sick or ill with throat cancer or not. So I guess, but it's a very early stage in artificial intelligence, in machine learning. Now it's skyrocketing. Wow! This year for me it was all the chat GPT movement, all imagery, videos, everything. I played on. I remember it was spring, I guess. After first time I looked at Midjourney, the Midjourney thing. I played for 5 hours, I remember. Oh my God, I was so astonished. And after first time speaking with ChatGPT, and I must say thank you to today. Shout out to you for showing me this. I guess, medicine is one of them where a machine learning will be implemented, but not sure if it will be not sure
the
major, at least to some degree, because it's a very conservative industry. So they are playing safe, and there are a lot of tech. Even in Lithuania, there are a couple of startups that are working with medicine and artificial intelligence or machine learning. But I think they are struggling, to pushing to the wall to this conservative medicine industry.
By the way, what happened to this project?
I guess we got in fight with the university on the IP rights. So there's an issue in Lithuania in universities. So if you study bachelor, master degree, or even doctor's degree, so everything you do in Lithuania, every science that you make is not yours. It's the universities. And universities, it could be okay if they would know what to do with it later on, but all that research, all that IP, all that knowledge is basically thrown into the garbage, or somewhere, in the cupboards, staying in the cupboards. Because university can't handle it, doesn't know what to do with it, and doesn't even know how to transfer the IP to businesses. So there's no good structure how you, for example, if there's a good research done and you want to monetize this research, it's very difficult in Lithuania and in many countries also. So, basically universities are saying that this is all theirs and that's it. If you want to monetize it, it's our business, it should be university business, etc., etc. But they don't do this. They cannot do it. They want to, but they can't. So there's a paradox in this. So I guess the same. So we had a big fights with the university.
That's really sad because that app would have saved a lot of lives.
Yeah. That would be very great. But I fight with about just simple IP rights. Crazy. Yeah. So, but getting back to where machine learning will go, there's a lot of spaces. But for me, I can sense that something is with the software. I already hear from my friends like they are using pretty miraculously, coding on testing the code, etc. So this is a big thing, value-driven workload, or work that you need to do, and the AI or machine learning could make it easier or faster. And I think we can see that, like the big five, like Google, Amazon, Facebook, etc., Meta, laying off a lot of people, and not sure if it's because of the recent, let's say, economy movement. It could be because of a major advancement in AI. They are seeing it. It's getting more and more effective. It's a theory, but in past big downturns in economy, there was not such layoffs, at least to this top five, companies. They are growing still, even in this recession, basically. I guess, somewhere in those, this will be the beginning in the offices, and then, later on. For example, in my recent startup that I'm working, the mind detection startup, basically we're gathering a lot of data and machine learning through sensor fusion, basically different sensors. The drone is flying and having basically a multiple sensor machinery, and those sensors are scanning the area, the ground, above the ground, below the ground. And there's a lot of artifacts, let's say, through different sensors. So only machine learning could, pick those small artifacts. Sensor fusion. It's so basically layer to one. Those 5 different sensors layered to one layer, and grasp and find items. So you never could do that as a person. Basically, it would be very difficult. There will be a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah.
And how do you see the future, or how do you want to develop this new project of machine learning?
You mean mind detection?
Yeah.
Well, it's I don't know. I started it this summer. I remember it was a crazy day. My brother told me that he wants to do something with the mind detection, because it's getting very difficult in the war, but even after the war, and then later on we understood that it's in other areas also. There are a lot of mines left over after war, and children are dying. Actually, in 2001, 5,400 or 5,500 people died. Half of them children, and it's not war. It's basically we are
after war.
It's after war things, after war casualties. It's not. It's Ukraine and Russia excluded. Basically, this number is excluded. I went on a camping trip, and I wrote to one VC which is launched this year, and it's a dual use VC, and said, me and my brother want to do something on a mind detection, something new, something advanced, using drones, machine learning, sensor fusion, etc. And I was talking. I had a call with him. It was from my camp, basically. On the back, I had my tent, and I was talking to the VC, most important, guy. He is always now saying this story to all of them, to all the friends, etc. in the events. But now we progressed, in this less than half a year. We progressed very fast, and the goal is to, maybe in a half a year, to have a prototype. The drone should be able to fly and search the ground, for mines, basically. So this is our main goal now, and to save at least one life, So that would be, I would be happy with that.
I wish you biggest success to this project, and thank you so much, Ernestas, for coming today and for sharing your experience.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you everyone for watching Kama PR podcasts. Please hit the like button to support us, and subscribe to our channel to see the new episodes with the entrepreneurs. and interesting people.